You may remember back in the spring, unless you're a new subscriber or just a new visitor that's popped in, and in which case please subscribe and you'll be able to follow along for more good stuff. But yeah, you may remember I gave people a choice of two trees, A and B, to go into a cream pot that I had for Christmas, and well, this was the loser, as you can tell, and it took forever to respond to the repot and to come into growth, much after most of my other larches were growing away really happily, and this one was still sat sulking. But it has now finally leafed out and is growing away reasonably well. I'm not going to prune it yet. I want it to grow a little bit more vigorously before I do any trimming to it. But this was the more successful of the two. This was the tree that won the right to go into the cream pot, and as you can see, it's fared even worse than the other. I really did think I was going to lose them both, but particularly this one. I have been misting it with the hose on the mist setting, and I've also been giving it a spray daily with a very weak seaweed solution from a misting bottle, and it is finally responding. I've no idea whether it was the root prune was too severe, the mix is wrong, the pot is no good, too shallow, too wide, whatever, but finally we have strong new growth beginning to push away. So I think it's turned the corner. I will make this a timey-wimey video, and we'll pop back in and see it over the summer from time to time into the autumn, and yeah, I'm going to keep everything crossed. There's no point in asking you to do that, because by the time you see this video we'll know one way or another whether the trees survived, and I'll post it either way. I always think it's not fair to you guys if I only show you my failures, my successes rather. It is called Sid's Trees, my channel, and that's because it's about my trees, and sometimes my trees succeed and sometimes they fail. It's the 9th of July and tree B is, well, staying flat and compact but growing away on quite long shoots, which I'm now going to cut away. The tree is looking much healthier all over. And this is just a very rough chop, bringing the tree back into a kind of triangular form. Not too worried about precision and things at this stage. The tree's survival is most important, and neither of the trees, A or B, like being root pruned and put into these new pots. I'm going to get rid of that entirely, so it's going to get a better, more structural prune probably over the winter time. But for now, that's it. What of A? I hear you all cry. Did it survive? Well, yes it has, and it is recovering. We've got some growth at the top and some growth at the bottom, very little growth in the middle. I am going to just trim back these two top shoots, and then I'm just going to let the rest of the tree grow for the rest of the year. Hopefully it will continue its recovery and go away strongly next year, but we shall see, keeping everything crossed. It's the 17th of September today, and these little larches A and B, and do you know, for the life of me now I can't remember which is which, have finally got to the point where they made me feel like they've survived. I really did wonder at one point. They really did seem to resent being the roots being disturbed when they were taken out of their little plastic pots and put into these bonsai pots. But no, I think now, let's move and see one at a time. I think now they are definitely going to survive. The temptation to cut this back is quite strong, but I'm going to resist it. I want them to continue growing, filling this pot with root and gaining strength to overwinter them, and then they can be chopped back over winter, ready for next spring, and I'll make a video obviously on their progress then. So I think that was A. It's the more straight tree of the two. Yeah, long and lanky growth, but at least it's healthy now. And then of course B, again, it took an awful long time to recover from its repot, and it still has some yellowing needles there in the center. So again, I'm not going to repot this tree. I'm going to keep it growing and gain in health and vigor as much as possible until it drops its needles for the winter, and then I will prune it back, maybe even do a bit of wiring on a couple of these wayward branches that are poking in the wrong direction. I think I'm going to call it a day on this video. There won't be much more to see apart from the needles changing really, and maybe I'll post a picture of that, or maybe I'll save that and film it a little and make another timey-wimey video with starting with the autumn and going into the winter work. So let's give you a quick 360 on each of these. As I say, still some yellowing needles there, but I think they've survived, and I think they have a good shot of making it through the winter and becoming some halfway decent little trees next year. And this one, yeah, particularly leggy, but has made up some good growth, so I'm happy. It's actually very firm in the pot now, which means that the roots have been growing even if the top hasn't, and that's the important part really. You need the roots to fuel the top growth. Thank you so much for watching. It is appreciated. Please do take care of yourselves, everybody. Stay safe.